Today we are going to discuss with another video of DC voltage regulation. Here is a circuitry or here is a schematics through which we will be able to understand DC voltage regulation. So what exactly here we are using? There is a transistors of LM317 and this is positive voltage regulator. This is a positive voltage regulator IC, a regulator transistors, regulator transistor. So what exactly? Now we are having a DC source over here. So particular from this DC, for example, it is maximum, for example, 12 volt DC. So by applying this, we'll be able to get, here is the output from, for example, 1 point something volt, say 1.2 volt to max up to, for example, here is a 12 volt, here is a 12 volt DC, so maximum up to 12 volt. So this is what exactly variable DC, okay, variable or we can say variable DC power supply. Variable DC power supply. Variable means it will vary, for example, from 1.2 volt or maybe from 1 volt to at max of its input voltage. Here is input voltage is your 12 volt, for example, at max up to 12 volt DC. 12 volt DC. Maybe sometimes it is not exactly 12 volt, maybe something 11 volt, 11 volt or maybe nearby to 11 volt. So here is a circuitry. In the case of a DC voltage regulator, we are using a transformer. We are using a transformer. Here is the primary winding. We apply 220 volt, 220 volt AC. Here we will be able to get, for example, 0 and 15 volt. This is also AC. And by using this 4 diode, we are able to bridge rectifier. We are able to convert AC into DC. So here we will be able to get DC voltages. So parallelly, here is a we are able to get positive voltage of the DC. Here we will to get negative voltage of the DC. Here is minus of the diode. Here is plus of the diode. Here is minus plus. So we fed AC. Here is minus and here is plus. So again we fed. Okay, this is AC. Right from here, this is AC fed into this, and this is AC fed into this terminal of this particular bridge rectifier. Parallelly, we will have to get DC. This particular filter capacitor, okay, filtered this particular pulsating DC into AC as per our previous video discussion. So here we are using LM317. So here is a 3 pin number 1, pin number 2 and pin number 3. Pin number 3 meant for input voltage, pin number 2 meant for output voltage and pin number 3 meant for ground or virtual ground of this particular meant for regulation pin or regulator pin. So here we apply a variable resistance of 5K which is connected both of the pins of particular variable resistance in the same side and another side connected to the pin number 1. Parallelly, here is a resistance, say 240 ohms is being applied along with the output and fed to the pin number 1. Parallelly, across to this, we will be able to get positive voltage and negative voltage. Again, we are using what? 100 microfarad capacitor, that is for better filterization. Here finally the output is here through which I will to get positive voltage and negative voltage. While we vary this particular potentiometer, so similarly as I know or as we know what exactly we'll be able to get, for example, 1 volt or 1.2 volt DC to here what exactly this is 0 volt and this is 15 volt. Finally, Finally, at this junction or at this particular point of DC, at this particular point, maybe we will be able to get, maybe we'll be able to get 18 volt DC or maybe more than this. So finally, for example, it is 20 volt DC right now. So from 1.2 volt to maximum 20 volt of DC, 20 volt of DC is possible within this regulated power supply by using LM317 as a positive voltage regulator. So here is pin number 1, here is pin number 2, here is pin number 3. Pin number 3 meant for the input pin, pin number 2 meant for the output pin, and pin number 1 meant for the adjustment pin where we using variable resistance, or we can say what, potentiometer, for the purpose of regulation. So you have been seen over here, here of this other, here we have been seen over here. So we are using what for different what for variations in the voltage. So or we can say variable regulations of the voltage. So this is finally what exactly LM317. So we use a voltmeter for the to know what exactly output is. Here we using a variable resistor, variable resistance, or we can say it is a potentiometer. So parallelly to this, this is pin number 1, this is pin number 2, this is pin number 3. Pin number 3 meant for the output. Pin number 1 meant for the, sorry, pin number 3 meant for the input. Pin number 2 meant for, here is pin number 2 meant for the output, and pin number 1 meant for certain variation. Here is pin number 1 meant for certain variation. Pin number 2 meant for the output voltage, and pin number 3 meant for the input voltage. So here we able to in, that means DC source is in through this particular battery or DC source, and here we will be able to get output in the form of variation 1.2 volt to till 12 volt DC or maybe up to 11 volt DC. If this particular source is 12 volt, that means battery is 12 volt, then we will be able to get in between 11 to 12 volt DC in the form of output out of 1.2 volt, maybe 1 volt. Parallelly, in our next video, we will do practical along with LM317. So, watch our regular videos or other updates. Please subscribe if possible and like the video if you feel it is valuable to you. Thank you.